Welcome. Yo, B Sam, Astro Sankofa. We got the fam in the house. Thanks for being here.
For sure. For sure. For sure. For sure. Okay, so
Welcome.
symbolic, you stated your point, and I think the ball is pinged back to IV. I'm confused. Are
Yeah,
we?
so I just wanted to real quick just kind of like explain kind of how AI works, right? So AI basically takes what you wanted to do, the text, the prompt, and it it converts it to numbers, and then it performs calculations on that number, on that number, and then it predicts what the outcome of should be, what the response should be. And that's basically at a low level, that's how it works, right? It takes an input, converts it to a number, it performs a calculation, and predicts what the number should be, what the expected number is. Like when you put this number in, this return number is expected. And that's basically how the calculation that it does. It looks at all of the data that it has inside of it that's all been converted into numbers, and it performs calculations on it, and it like puts this word in, that word in, and these collections of words, and it looks at those and it's like, okay, this is what
Yo, but
it
we're
should
getting
it
into
should
my
say.
realm now because when you say it's the number and the calculation, it obfuscates the fact. It gets away from the fact that when they apply that to your art, they're replicating and copying your art. And we haven't even gotten into
Absolutely.
poisoning yet, which we're
Yeah.
going to. But
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
just wanted to just say that
it's pixel
those
by
numbers
pixel.
equate to replicating your art,
Right.
right?
Yeah, yeah, it's pixel by pixel, pixel by pixel.
Or
Yep.
Yep.
sound by sound, or
Bye
Down.
bye bye. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me just, I just want to add to something that was being said because Ivy, your definition is on point. However, you kept saying predict. So AI doesn't predict; it calculates, as you said, right? And so it creates seeds of variations of something that they calculated, right? So seeds of variations of the sum. So if you think of a sample, it might be variations of that sample. So going back to what symbolic is saying, it might be sampling one particular person's artwork or a series of people's artwork, and it's creating variations, right, based on that calculation. And then you're getting the seed of that calculation, but it doesn't predict. The predict means that it doesn't know what it's doing, right? It makes it sound like it's arbitrary, but it's not
It
arbitrary.
no, it doesn't know what it's doing. It's doing what you tell it to do.
Yeah, so that's not a prediction, right? Because that's a calculation. It's calculated in what it does, right?
I think
It's
we're splitting hairs here.
no, no, no. I think that prediction has to do with the future, how I understand that. But
Well, I mean,
calculating is making a variance of like something that takes that original thing and goes to like puts outputs something. No?
yeah, it's a statistical. It creates a basically is a statistical algorithm that when you put something into it, it predicts what the desired outcome is, and it provides that to you. In some cases, what it provides to you is not actually what you want, and you have to prompt it again and say, "I want an image of, um, I want an image of a bald man with a headset on," and it'll give you an image of a bald man with a headset on, but the headset might be some different kind of headset that you weren't looking for. Oh, my bad. Let me give me an image of a bald man with a VR headset on, a MetaQuest 3. And then it's going to provide another thing. Okay, I predict that he wants to see a man with a
I
bald
got
head.
your it is semantics in terms of that terminology. Fine.
Right.
For
Yeah, yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
It's a calculation. I mean, it is both. It is a prediction because you're telling it I want this, and it's saying, okay, I got this in my database. These kinds of images. All right, I think it wants that, and then it presents that. It is, and it's also calculations that are being made to figure out, okay, how do I solve this problem of what they want? Yeah.
I'll just say one thing is when I heard prediction, I think of understanding what the future will be. So that's where, yes, it's semantics because we're
Yeah.
talking about a different type of prediction, but I got you.
Right. And all right. So who wants to explain what AI poisoning is?
I mean, I totally think it should be G.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I
So
think
yeah, so
unanimous.
I'll give you a little rundown from what I understand. So um, we all know that, or I shouldn't say we all know that. Some people know that how computer vision works because they don't see computers don't see the way we see. They analyze using, as we were just talking about, numbers and calculations. When they teach these systems machine learning or machine vision to look at objects, it is a digital calculation and there is training involved. That's how we get, ChatGPT and Midjourney and all of these other kinds of AI kinds of things. And in those things is they're teaching the AI to see certain things. They don't teach it to see everything. It is very specific to what it's trained on. And these models, when they spit out, uh, a Dragon Ball Z character, it's because they were trained on what a Dragon Ball Z character is supposed to look like. And they might have variances of that, and they choose what the most probable uh, image of a Dragon Ball Z character is. Now, what we were talking about with Nightshade and AI poisoning is when they go to train these models, they take immense amounts of data. Like they're saying that we're going to run out of new data or new human made information, which is all the books in the world, all the pictures in the world, all the music in the world that has ever been made by, I think, 2026. Someone correct me on that.
Next year?
And they're going to, yeah, yeah. And they're going to have to start building synthetic data from now on because the AIs have consumed and eaten all of the data that it is. So now those AIs now have all of that trained data. Now, what AI poisoning, or in this case, Nightshade, does is it corrupts the data, in this case, visual data, um, and the visual data that an artist would upload to it, and then have that data being able to you could then post that on the internet or publicly. What it does is it puts into the pixels at the pixel level certain artifacts that are not visible by the human eye at all. But they're there, and the computer sees those pixel points and then is trained on those pixel points in the image that is unseeable. The output of that is when the AI is asked to replicate that artwork again, it does not look exactly like that artwork because it is now been corrupted in certain ways. So digitally corrupted. It's almost like getting a static sound when you should be listening to music, or a
Noise.
very noisy uh, reproduction of music. And that's exactly what Nightshade does. It allows artists to kind of encode in their digital versions of their art this thing that even if the AI does scrape their artwork, actually, I shouldn't say they most likely will scrape your artwork. That when it goes to try and reproduce that artwork, it will look terrible. It won't look anything close to your artwork, therefore protecting the artist from AI scraping and duplication. And that's it in a nutshell. I was going to say Nightshade is available for Mac and Windows. So I just want to let everybody know. And it is absolutely 100% free. It's done by, I believe, the University of Chicago. It's out of the University of Chicago. So,
That's on
um,
point.
yeah. So protecting and I believe I haven't gotten a deep dive yet. I believe there's an audio version of it as well. So that when you're putting out your stuff, someone can't just. But we've had DRM for music for a while. They've
Oh,
been
yeah.
able to encode
Is
sound into, but sorry,
is DRM, does that work against AI scraping?
no, and that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, because I think, as far as I understand, the way they used to do DRM was they were basically putting in, and I could be completely wrong, um, another channel into the music with another sound that's inaudible, and that was triggering.
Can y'all hear me right now?
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to say DRM was made by the wrong guys, the wrong people in the past. It was the corporations that want to exploit the people. So this seems very, very different. Sorry, my actual screen is gone black and everything is like I can't see anything, but you can hear me, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You can see me?
Yeah,
No,
Oh, wow.
I
I
can't see
can.
it.
All
I
right.
can't see. I can't
So
see.
that's I think something that is important here. I'm very curious if I want to say Astro Sankofa, if brother is here um as a visual artist. Are you here, Versetti?
Yes, sir.
I would love to hear what your thoughts, or maybe you've heard of this, what your thoughts on this are.
Yeah, like as far as I know, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of that AI poisoning was coming out of the NFT space because a lot of people were still getting their work stolen, and a lot of people were trying to figure out ways to essentially expand on metadata, and not everybody wanted to put watermarks on their works and stuff like that. So this was another way to kind of still allow the work to be beautiful and be able to be enjoyed by others, but encrypting it essentially. So we've been exploring that for a while, and we're starting to use Nightshade, especially with like a lot of the digital twinning work that we're doing. And so we're trying to explore how can we incorporate some of that into the 3D scanning work that we're doing. So when we put these things on the internet, AI is not essentially stealing our 3D models and stuff like that. So we're very much up on it.
Nice, nice.
Just wanted, I just wanted to also point out that um, to understand that this is going to be an ongoing battle. The original Nightshade project, I think, was released over a year ago, and what the AI companies that were doing all the data scraping figured out is what they could do was blur the image and then apply a sharpener to the blurred image, and that would get rid of the original Nightshade. And I think there was another product called Glaze. I think Glaze you have to pay for. I can't remember. But the new Nightshade, that they've gone back and redone it, and again, it is not followable. So understand that this isn't one and done. And I've downloaded Nightshade now. My art is protected. It looks like this is going to be an ongoing tug of war between the AI companies and all of our art and all of our works, all of our privacy, where we're constantly, building tools and, you know, using those tools to protect our stuff. But we kind of all knew that that was going to happen.
100%.
Yeah, they
One of the
definitely go.
things.
Oh, go ahead.
No, no, go ahead, Abby.
No, I was just gonna say they definitely gonna, spend whatever bag they gotta spend to make sure that they can continue business as usual.
Mhm.
That part. I mean, it says so much about the present future, everything that we've been talking about in terms of culture and customs, and why it's so important, not just to center just the majesty of art in and of itself, because it really is a gift to be able to do and share. Also, just protecting that work, um, because it's not mitigated to season tickets at the opera. That's not what this is for us. It's never been that. It's This is our lifeline. So I think, I mean, when I saw it and it was called Nightshade, I was like, oh, that's telling. Like, That's what is nightshade. It's straight poison. People smoke every day. I say that to say
People smoke
it.
nightshade.
Yeah, it's tobacco. That's the plant. That's the nightshade. So white potatoes, tomatoes, tobacco, everything in the nightshade family has tobacco in it. And
Okay.
when we consume it, it's acidic. So it's essentially remedying us from some of the bad things that we may consume. So it has to be acidic for its intents and purposes. But tobacco for sure, yeah, it's nightshade. So when I saw the name, I was like, oh, I see where they're going with this. But I think it's a grander conversation about what we will. I mean, because G's point about 2026 and the concurrent development of LLMs, because it is deeply based on information that is already available, right? So when we talk about being used to already train models, especially when it comes to us, voice inflection, I mean, just every tiny thing. We've been training these models. I think we have a bigger conversation, which we may or may not get into today, is if Nightshade is doing its due diligence to poison, what can we as artists do to overlay that poison? Because it's all about protecting the work, right?
Yep.
So
Got to
what
protect the
what else
brand.
can we do? Yeah, like Versetti said, like what else can we do outside of twinning, outside of ingraining? Oh no, la mascota. No, no, no. What can we do to layer our protections using our digital resources? What can we do?
So that kind of relates to what I was going to add just before Ivy, which is what we call the Asher Sankofa method. And and the way that we create the work, it's really AI proof in the sense of the conceptual approach that we take and the storytelling aspect and the way that we're digging into our ancestry. Because the thing is, what AI can't do is tell a good story. And at the end of the day, AI can't tell your story, right? Like whatever's not on the internet, the AI doesn't have access to, right?
Exactly.
So like AI doesn't know how you feel about certain lived experiences that you have. AI doesn't know how you feel about the future. AI doesn't know what you have planned for the future unless you put it on the internet. And so, but most importantly, AI doesn't know your connection to your ancestors. So the Ash Sankofa method is encouraging artists to dig deep in themselves, tell their own story, and keep reinventing, right? Keep adding to it, dig into the ancestry, pull from that, because those are things that AI can't do, right? They're gonna keep playing catch up because AI can only create what's already been done. So it's really encouraging our people, to continue to be innovative. And the next thing is to continue to push for excellence, right? Like AI can only create a style that's already been created. It can't predict a trend. It can't predict what I'm going to do next. And so, for me, I'm constantly trying to figure out how can I push my style rather than fit myself in a box, right? And in that sense, that Ashton Sankofa method that we call it, it kind of allows us to keep ahead of the trend in a lot of ways. And this might be my style this week or this month, and next month it's a whole different thing. I'm hitting you with something completely different, right? And keeping everybody on their toes, computers included.
Hey,
So
as you,
I think that's
oh, go
our way.
ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I think that's our additional way of poisoning the data.
Hey, can I say sorry, I dropped my whole thing crashed, but what I think of when you say that, it makes me think of hip hop. We had something that's called the next shit. Now, as much I'm all about what you just said. That is factual. Like we need to be on that for sure. But I think that we also need the legislation. Like we need to be like on a level looking at this stuff properly because people will copy and just make the money that they can make even though it sucks because that's what the hip hop we've been I get a lot of my lessons from hip hop from well, 1980s to as far as I could listen before being like, what the hell? This is not the culture that people say is the culture. So all that to say, um, no, come on, Ivy. I see you there. I'm
Shout out
just
Uh,
Drake.
saying
Shout out
the
Drake right now. He's not the culture.
creativity. Huh?
that was
I said,
hilarious.
shut out Drake right now. He's not the culture.
Hey, I
I
didn't
can't
Doing in
say
rap
tell.
all
battle
that. All right.
is not a rap. Is not.
I can't tell that he's
It's
not
not
the
the culture.
culture because they can't stop talking about him.
No, because here's the thing. I mean, this is such a valid point, symbolic. You just said we need legislature, and I was reminded of Ivy's comment about not being able to, was it debate? And I was like, you know what? I don't want to just say, nah, bruh, we don't need legislature. Here's the thing. I totally agree with Versetti's point about what we need to do to preserve and conserve. You know, you all know that I've been having this conversation concurrently. Like, yeah, that's why everything should not be on the internet. Like, we need to archive. I mean, let's just,
Facts.
you know, we need to
Facts.
archive and we need to protect our work as best we possibly can. Everything is not meant to be shared. Just because we can do something doesn't mean we should. And so when we think about protection in that way, even the compiling and the building upon the stories that and the connect about our connection with our ancestors, while a lot of it is valuable because we're teaching, right? Some of it does need to be withheld. And so we had this conversation, I believe it was last week, about building offline LLMs. That was between all of us, just building offline LLMs with our ancient wisdom, right? So that we could have a model that we've created for us by us. But this still is like when we talk about excellence, even it's legislation. I mean, they're looking right now to do away with IP, which would say, yeah, yeah, Tiff, I know you spent 16 years of your whole life working on this literacy system to move our children ahead, to ensure they're prepared for the future of education and future work. But who cares? We're taking it and it's ours now.
Wait,
Like,
wait. Another pause. One, you said that in passing. What?
yeah,
And also, that's what they've already done with what LLMs and AI has been doing. So I
for
get
sure.
that. So
For
wait,
sure.
what?
Yeah. So they're literally saying, well, now because you have to think about a patent. Think about, I mean, patents from top to bottom. Once you patent, now the secret is out. Same thing with copyright. That copyright expires, right? So now they're saying, hey, we're just going to do away with all of it. There'll be no protections on paper. Remember, the legal system is designed for those who play the game. It's not really designed for us in that way if we're not playing the game in that way. So to do away with IP and to do away with patents, copyright, all of it is again further is saying, yeah, I don't care if you came up with it. I don't care if this is an origin story. I'm going to pillage it any way I can. And you'll just have to be okay with it. So this is where I'm saying, yeah, protect your neck. Don't put it out there. Especially if you know that seriously, it is something that you have spent your whole life like nurturing, perfecting for the sake, and it's wholly cultural. It's going back to Ivy's comment. Yeah, don't participate. No, I'm not sharing that. Now there are other things that of course we will all like. There's much, I have so much music that I've never shared. And some of it I'm like, yeah, I probably never will. The rest of it that I share, my intent and purpose is to bring forth joy, to bring forth a sonic landscape that is peaceful and calming. But the rest of it is, yeah, I don't want them to train models with my music. Like what? No. And they're constantly asking me. Opt in, you'll get paid more, which is a whole whopping nickel more. Like if it's that. So this is where I'm asking us to draw the line for participation. Nightshade is great. It is.
Mm.
It's a step forward. I would imagine dude is like, their team are probably open source devs. They're probably like, yeah, we're for the people. We're for the people. Yeah, let's poison it all. But it's gonna take us, those of us, especially, come on, Ivy, those of us who are in the tech space to say, okay, so what other protective measures can we use? And that was the question that was just answered. Like we own our feelings, thoughts, and ideas about culture and customs, and because we do, we need to protect that at all costs. Period.
And,
Uh,
and
what
also,
what I
go ahead, G.
um, what I was also going to say is we also have to look at also past practices that we have that are how do I put it, un AI scrapable. And I'm going to give you guys an example, and it just dawned on me in this second. But jazz music, the way that some jazz is made is that it's jamming, and it's these, I think of trios. I love jazz. A trio, they have a set of music in their head, but when they come and perform it, it's not the same every time. And that kind of uniqueness to every performance can't be bottled. It cannot be um, replicated through AI
That's a perfect
because
example. Yeah, perfect example.
and that's where, if we, not only just in like finding out technological solutions, but also figuring out how did our ancestors stop that shit? Like our how did they create something that couldn't be taken from them and stolen? Because I think in my head I'm thinking, why did jazz music, why was it so this improvisational? Because they got rock and roll got stolen from them. You know what I mean? The decades before rock got stolen from them.
I think
So,
jazz first, then rock, but I see your point.
Really?
yeah, and jazz is hysterical. Like if you when you think about all of the greats, I love jazz. It's my first like Dilla. I'm hip hop head all day, but jazz is my first love because it's hysterical and it really does stem from anger, oppression. And that's why, to your point, if we start to look at it as the improvisation that it is, oh no, and we start to look at it like it is and say, yeah, this can't be replicated every time.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry. It's good. It's good. It's a part of the conversation.
He's definitely talking.
Right? He got something to say too. It's like, come
Right?
on, Bobby.
I love jazz too. That's what I'm hearing.
No, I have to mute you guys. I'm gonna let y'all finish this.
I, I definitely felt like you were saying AI can't replicate this either.
That part, bruh.
Factually. That rhythm?
That's sweet. But just going back to what Black Simon saying and what Tiff was trying to say before she got interrupted, the live arts, the live arts, and when I say live arts, like I'm not just talking about performative art. Like for me, like I was doing a live sculpture class, and just creating with people and just vibing with them in the space. I'm like, yeah, like that vibe, that energy of like when you're creating in community and you're creating with with the energy in the room, that can't be replicated, you know. And then again, going back to the Asher Sankofa method of like when you're pouring yourself into the work, again, it's like that stuff is just genuine. And my wife, she works in theater, and she just had a premiere in Stratford, and I saw four shows. Each one was supposed to be the same, but every night was different. And what made it different was the crowd. So even though they're saying the same lines, but where the crowd might laugh, where they might, cry or The emotion, it hits different, even though it's the same thing every night, but it's the crowd, the energy, the liveness, all that ether. And so I think that's also something that when I think about hip hop and I think about what the Clips is doing, and I saw their live show that they were doing, and I was like, man, like I was so excited because I'm like, yo, they're bringing that live element back. Like, it's like it's no longer about the recorded record, it's about the live concert experience, the live concert experience, and it's so simple, it's very simple, set, stripped back, but you're really intimate and involved with the artist, and the artist audience is very much a part of the whole experience, And so when you were talking about jazz, you know, the history of jazz is jackass music, right? Where the musicians of the day were taking the instruments of the quote unquote masters and making dance music out of it, right? And then people were vibing to that, right? They were remixing gospel music, they were remixing all those country songs, et cetera, and making it their own version, right? Africanizing it. And then white people called it jackass music, and that's how it became jazz, right? But then when white people started copying it, we started to create something else, And so going back to the live element, I think is a key thing for us.
I mean, I was gonna say the juke joint. Like we have to get back to those kinds of. I mean, Versetti already said it. Like we have to get back to intimate gatherings. It's indicative of our show. Intimate gatherings where we're actually sharing on purpose for the purpose of bringing us together and actually having a deeper experience, a more richer experience, because that can't be duplicated. But which similarly to the juke joint back in the day, it's like, yo, we going out, we gonna have a good time. We know we gonna have a good time. We're gonna share, we're gonna laugh, we're gonna dance, we're gonna do all the things. Then we're gonna go home and we're gonna come back next week because we support each other. Right. So I think there's much to be considered when we're talking about the poisoning of a species. I'm just gonna leave that there. But there's much to be considered on what else needs to happen. And that I know we're not ready to go into it, but that is the foundation of what I want to talk about with the fifth element. Oh my God, IV got me saying fifth element. It's the fifth estate.
I was
Like
just about to say, what is it? The
the fifth estate. Like,
So
I
actually,
ain't
I'm
never
really
seen
glad you
it.
actually brought up the fifth estate because I was just thinking that we gotta move on to the next topic. And our next segment is actually a video segment. So I wanted to ask you guys, are we playing this ODB story? You want to talk about get ODB story?
Nah, I mean it's fun, but I think we should just go into the maybe
I was thinking
after
that
we
too.
have time, but
Yeah,
is
let's
there
just do
one
that.
that has
I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah. I think the was there one that talks about I know Rashanis can describe it, but if we have do we have a video around that or you could just
No,
describe it?
I thought the video that was perfect to reel it in was the same Kofa Square. I
Oh,
think that's like a really good video to reel it in.
yeah. All right,
Okay,
because that's
let's do it.
happening. That's happened. That's happening. Been happening. By the way, with resistance from this renaming of Sankofa Square. I remember talking with Versetti about this early. Are you still in the house? Versetti? He may have dropped. All right. Well, in Toronto, they have decided to rename a square where it was named after whatever, who cares? And this person was trying to
That is
extend, huh?
sorry, symbolic. That is proper due. That's how we should deal with people that don't need to be discussed. Is
Right?
don't give
Right?
them, not even a name drop. Mm-mm.
No, we're not doing that because what happened was this is someone who um when we beat them in doing their negativity in the Caribbean, they were like, all right, you want to go back to Africa? We'll send you to Nova Scotia for you to freeze. Someone who just fought against freedom. And so when they renamed the square, though, here's the thing. You have people in Toronto that are like, oh no, he was actually not about that. Blah, 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 blah. So no, we're not gonna name him. Um, but when they
Wait,
once
what
this
happened?
is
He put off abolition of slavery in Canada by 10 years, by a decade, over a decade, probably.
Intentionally?
Intentionally. Literally,
Oh,
that's what he said.
true.
like through votes and things. So people now are
Yeah.
like, oh well, he was being strategic. Nonsense. No one is about that. Well, someone is, but you know what you're about if you're about that. And so it took 2020. By the way, my promo video for this show, I went into some of the 2020 was a very interesting and monumental time in terms of like us creating culture. All right, here I see Astro Sankofa. If anyone's on the anyone who is on the what's it called too, the Twitch, please do share. Let's look at that as well. But Astro Sankofa Versetti says he is a brother that led genocides in Jamaica, Grenada, and India. Yeah. So I was also concerned as to what that Sankofa score would mean, but there were certain pushes. There were certain, as far as like giving the like direction. So they had the right influence. And so what took place? Yo, Ivy Produce, you ready? Because we got the video should be in the feed, right? Um,
Oh,
yeah, I think SFA, Stolen from Africa, big ups for them doing that independent journalism, fifth estate that we're about to talk about. Um, and so
where's the
it
video?
went through. There's a SFA, Stolen from Africa video that should be in our Telegram. And if you see it, let us know it's coming. But yes, so we'll check out what happened. I was surprised because myself and the Queen went through. We were a little bit later, and a sister from the Rites of Passage, the Rites of Passage program in Toronto, bringing young people up, preparing them for readiness um, for adulthood, and you know contributing to society. And this sister, shout out Kemba, she says, it was amazing. I'm like, what? What do you like? I didn't expect all that because I just got to this town square. I actually saw another brethren fade putting up these amazing graffiti on these buses. I was like, what? And then I saw Kemba and she said they had chiefs in the place. They had this whole ceremony. And I only saw it online after. It's very regal, very nice. Thanks to our brother at Stolen from Africa for
I
putting it
don't
online. You know
see
where
the
it is, or
video.
do should I find it?
I don't see it. Search stolen, I search SFA. I don't see anything.
Hold on. No problem. We can just I'll find it and post it on what? My computer is bugging. I'm gonna put the link. Where should I put the link?
Telegram is fine.
On Telegram.
Yep.
All right.
Mercedes, you
Wait.
got something while they're looking for people?
Hmm?
I actually, yeah, I gotta roll out, family. But
Appreciate
one
you
thing I
coming
want to say
through.
is I'm really excited for Sankofa Square for the potential and all the things that it's gonna hold for the future. I'm definitely glad to have been able to play a role in having
that square renamed, and looking forward to just all the dope stuff that's gonna happen, and
Hold on.
it's a
Before you
beautiful
go,
trend.
though, you literally were there during the discussions around the renaming, correct?
I can't deny or confirm.
Fair, fair. Yeah, all right. But you can say there was community consultation that
Yes,
led to that moment.
yes, I can
Right.
confirm that.
Okay, beautiful.
Very nice. That's what's up, bro.
I only have one critique though, my one critique, and also it ties back to data poisoning, AI poisoning. Um, I think there's a missed opportunity that was there to not connect it back to the entire diaspora. There was a lot of Ghana represented, um, which my people are the Ewe
Mm,
people of Benin and Togo, and they have connections to Sankofa, but the Akan people are actually from ancient Sudan. So there's for my people back home, I know there's a bitter taste in their mouth when people only talk about Ghana when it comes to Adinkras or when it comes to Sankofa, and
mm.
I think my one thing I want to say is like, that when we talk about Sankofa, when we talk about, that movement, it's important to recognize it as a Pan-African, pan-diasporic concept, idea, principle, and not just one location, you know what I mean? Because the concept and word predates Ghana and predates what we currently call West Africa. It's across the continent, and the Akan people, they've traveled from East Africa to West Africa. So it's like that history was missed, but the connection to Jamaica is that there was a Sankofa town that Henry Dundas destroyed. Or sorry, I didn't want to name him, but that family destroyed. So there's a connection there. And if anybody watches the movie Sankofa, they will know that there's a warrior named Sankofa, who was a Maroon. So there's a lot of multiple layers of connection, that I think was not made. But I look forward to those connections being made in the future, especially like Sankofa Day is on the day of the Haitian Revolution anniversary. And it's also on the anniversary of Grenada Day, which is also connected to the Haitian Revolution, right? If anybody knows about Grenada and their fight for independence, Walter Rodney, and all those Badman revolutionaries, So I look forward to those connections being made and like, people kind of digging deeper on the truth of what that place and space is. Because also in Toronto, that space that we currently call Sankofa Square used to be a slave market.
What?
So
Whoa,
so there's a lot of there's a lot of
whoa,
there's a lot of healing that needs to take place, and I think there's a strategic
whoa,
aspect.
Brethren, I'm sorry to interrupt you because you dropped that heavy load. At the end of that, I was like, wait, we used to actually be a slave market, is what you said.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, okay.
Because think about Young Street runs straight to the water.
It is the first and main road,
It
but
goes straight to
I've
the
never
port.
thought of it like that.
Yep.
Wow. It makes perfect sense. It usually does.
Yeah. And that's one of the main streets that goes all the way to the town of Dundas. Right. So layers, man, layers. But much respect, family. Sending much love. Great to connect with y'all.
Appreciate you
Love
coming
and
through, brother.
respect. Big
No
up B
problem.
Sam. Big up Versetti, my brother. Peace.
All right.
Wow. This brother dropped that. The spot that I was just right there with all of what we're about to show, which shows, and I completely am with, of course, like the Pan African. There's the thing is, people say I'm down and then are like, yeah, but not that, not that. No, we need to be about it. And so Pan African is one of those about it's that cannot be washed away. It's just non negotiable. Like, what are we talking about? if we're being separated and divided. And no, I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Just like how Young Street makes perfect sense that that's where they did that. It makes perfect sense. As much as I was, you know, acting shocked, it still makes perfect sense. Only thing that makes sense is one blood, one people, Pan Africanism. So let's see what they did.
Yo, peace and love, everyone. It's Neil Logic, the digital griot here, and I just wanted to take a moment to share with you what went down this morning. A truly historic day for our city. Today marks the official launch of Sankofa Square, formerly Dundas Square. Now, this isn't just a name change, this is a cultural shift. Sankofa is a Ghanaian word meaning go back and fetch it, reminding us to look at the past in order to move forward with wisdom, healing, and strength. The whole square came alive. I'm telling you, we had ancestral drumming, indigenous and African blessings, and community markets. Now, this celebration continues all day, right up until 11 p.m. with music, food, dance, and pure good vibes, man. And the best part, it's all free and open to the community. So for me, standing in the square, renamed through community voices and resilience, was powerful. Let's get it. Sankofa, Toronto, you done know. Blah. Yo, peace and
Let's get it. Toronto, you don't know.
Blah, 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 blah.
And you
That
don't
Yeah.
know, eh?
that video, and actually, Brother Vassetti's comment as he was leaving, dog just stopped barking. Please don't let him bark again. But it's like the perfect intro for the conversation of, or the urgency for a more pronounced fifth estate to be led by us for us. One of the things that he said was he talked a little bit about the Ghanaian history and how some of it wasn't as authentic, centering just that voice. And you followed it up, symbolic, saying, yeah, when we talk about Pan Africanism, we even talked, we did the clip, what was that, a couple weeks ago, where the brother was talking about being, at war with each other, and how in Africa, African leaders, and how they knew that that was going to be a thing because for the sake of the project. And so they just pretended, but then it got out of hand and everybody is, oh, well, we're better over here, we're better over here, we're better over here. So that division is not of us. That's not steeped in our culture. That's not us. That's again what we've just been trained to do. I say that to say it was the perfect segue. The video in and of itself, the project to rename, take back, have that Sankofa moment, and now it's dedicated in Toronto, in Canada, like in Canada, right? Because what brother said was when we think about acts and these transitions and these revolutions, if you will, we are the ones who have to tell the side of the story about how it became. Symbolic, you specifically said that there were children there participating or engaging in this rites of passage. Well, in order to have a rites of passage, it really plays into what IV talked about when we first got on with the inductive and deductive reasoning. You have to have reference, you have to have prior knowledge, and you get prior knowledge from truthful stories, from stories that actually happen. They're factual, right? They're objective. This is what the fifth estate is doing. It's been doing, but we're called to actually do a much better job of being at the helm of the fifth estate for these reasons. We've seen projects like this across the country be renamed, right? In Houston, it used to be Dowling Street. They renamed it Emancipation Way and thus renamed a park, Emancipation Park. So we've seen, I mean, examples of this all over. Statues coming down, being defaced, beheaded, the uproar. And now something takes its place that is culturally committed or what have you. But the story behind how we got there, and then what that's going to do ongoing for the community, is up to us. And that is the premise of the fifth estate. How are we moving from theory to practice, and how are we recording that? What voices are being sifted? What voices are being muffled? Who's getting lost in the algorithm? Who's perpetuating the same junk, right? The same stuff over and over again. Hate culture. Who's positioning information that's factual, because we know we cannot, we it's personally, I haven't in, I don't know, decades, but we can't rely on the media. We talked about this a little bit on our call the other night, where it's like, wow, I didn't know this. It's like, yeah, because information is a weapon. It's a weapon. What I, the first thing I do to keep you ignorant is withhold information, right? Two ways to lie: omission and commission. So when we're thinking about the fifth estate, granted, it's here and it's really saying, okay, it's an evolving media that puts influencers and digital personalities in front. I think the core of why it's so important to us culturally is not just because we're telling the truth, but again, we're telling our story. And these are stories that actually uphold and sustain culture for intents and purposes of sustainability. The Sankofa Square example was good, like I said, from Versetti's perspective, because he had something additional. None of us would have known that had we not heard that directly from him. So the example there is, okay, so when we're thinking about the fifth estate and taking over, it's going to be up to Afrofuturists like us.
No, it's quiet. Don't worry. Keep going.
Okay. It's going to be up to us to actually deliver that information that may not be widely known, right? That may not be widely discoverable because of the algorithm, because of other things, LLMs, right? Because we're just extracting what it's being fed. So just like Ivy said, input, output, right? But not knowing your relationship with your culture, not knowing your relationship with your ancestors, not knowing that yeah, that statue had to come down because it's always been racist. It's always promoted genocide. It's always promoted poverty. It's always promoted lack, division. You know, it's always been disgusting. And why that came about, not just as an educator, but as a mom, as someone who's deeply concerned about the community, it's up to us to keep and tell these stories. And that is more of what I want to discuss when it comes to the fifth estate. The Sankofa Square piece was perfect to introduce it, but Versetti following it up saying, well, it could have been this because this is closer to Pan-Africanism, right? And being totally representative of it. That's fifth estate coverage.
Mm-hmm.
That's reporting because it's
Mm-hmm.
authentic to the culture. I wouldn't have known that.
I was
Right?
gonna say the same. It's a conversation because me
Right.
being Ghanaian Jamaican, I was just like, this is amazing. But
Totally.
facts.
Totally. Totally. So this is where it differentiates. Like I said, we move from theory to actual practice, and that experience is what differentiates the typical micro influencer, digital personality. Yeah, that's, yes, we
Good
are.
point.
We've been here.
The
Right.
AI would have just been like, this is diverse, done. But
Period.
like it takes that experience and thought.
So do you understand why I want us to start to think about the ways in which we, again, identify and define meaning where it regards to a future, the present future. I mean, because we're co-creating that even right now. But when it regards how we're being artists, how we're being journalists, how we're sharing information, those are the things that I want us to pay specific attention to, because we're in the fifth estate right now. And just for those
Mm.
who don't really understand it, I'm going to read what Google says about it because it's probably better. The fifth estate refers to the concept of independent online commentators, alternative media, and social networks, particularly those leveraging the internet and digital tools to hold power accountable and inform the public. It extends the traditional notion of the fourth estate, which is the established press, which is media, right, to include the vast and decentralized network of voices on the internet, such as bloggers and social media users. The term originated with the counterculture movement and gained prominence in the 21st century with the rise of the internet's ability to connect people and information globally. Now, with that information, with that definition, when we think about us and what we're up against, it's telling the truth, of course, telling our side of the story, which could be one and the same, right? Um, but beyond that, is saying, listen, these are the elements that have been historically left out because it's not popular, because it's too woke. Like I really do. Buzzwords are they're just what they are. But this is what being woke looks like in these situations, and this is what it leads to. It's the conversation we're having roundabout with, well, yeah, data consciousness, and how we'll be transhuman, and all of the data brokering that's happening even right now, right? On camera, off
Mhm.
camera, just the sound of your voice.
The thing is, I think that it's another level when it comes to us when some to say countercultural voices that weren't heard. Hip hop was that. And so I feel like this something that's been coming to my mind over time is that hip hop was us defining and creating culture, but I feel like we were more attached to the terminology than to actually realize, no, since we're doing this, we need to understand what culture is and maintain that. Where does it come from? Is it something that sustains us moving into to the future as opposed to becoming a product? Because as a product, someone can tell you, this is what I'm willing to pay for. And that's what I think happened to popular hip hop, which took it firmly out of counterculture. So when KRS-One said that hip hop is the CNN of black people, like that was a different thing than commercial pop hip hop. That was Fifth Estate. That's what you're talking about.
Absolutely. And that being our due diligence, because I know we're going to wrap it up, it forces us to really think about our artistic practice a little deeper, right? Because not only are you participating in the creation of the art, but also being able to tell that story that is deeply you and uniquely yours, right? What Versetti was talking about. Those are the things that we really should focus on. And again, I'm not saying we should do that for the intents and purposes of the internet, because to your point, bruh, hip hop is bigger than the internet, bigger than the government. Hip hop is a movement that, as we know it, can't be stopped. Now, as it's known today, that's a different conversation. But it speaks to our ability to go beyond, especially you using KRS-One as the example. Like, I mean, he taught we must learn. We must, you
That
know,
was the right track right there.
point, period, dot, all day, all day. So it just begs us to ask bigger and better questions about our work as we have today, how we're protecting our work, how we're layering our work, and how we're making the most of the time and space we take up here, for sure.
Hey, I dropped some Fifth Estate content this week. Uh the Freedom Train. We didn't play that last week, right? I dropped it this week.
Yeah, well, that was this week.
Yeah, so can I show y'all something? All right, let me share that.
Hell yeah. Hell
Actually,
yeah.
huh?
Hell yeah.
Of course.
Respects. Okay, so I'll put it in the discussion and maybe we'll ride out on that, I guess.
Sounds good.
We will, yes, respects. We'll come back on these subjects. These are the ones that we will revisit, build upon, see what people are doing. Does anyone have any shout outs for anything that you're doing, anything that's around you? We shouted out what's going on as far as Toronto Freedom Train. It's like the seventh or eighth year. Sorry, I don't remember, but like to me, that's one thing that I would give some shout outs, the fact that that's happening, but you'll hear that. Anything else that we want to give some shout outs to what you're doing individually or that's around you?
Shout out to the Onaji fam. They're streaming all the time. They're on Twitch. Shout out to the Onaji fam. I don't know if anybody's in the space right now. I know that Onaji B said they were gonna try to catch us. Don't see any comment. Don't know if they came in, but regardless of if they did or didn't, shout out to the Onaji fam. They've been doing it
Definite.
like we've been doing it. So yeah.
Yeah, that's like kin moving in the tech with soul space. So yes, shout out.
That's what's up. I'm still waiting for IV to say if the project he's concurrently working on is shareable at the
I
moment.
did.
Yeah, you did.
I've actually shared it on the show, my Nist app. Yeah, I shared it on the show a couple of weeks prior, and I shared some. I've done a couple of like I've shown like the stuff that I do about Kona, but
Demo?
there's definitely room for updates and what I've learned over the past couple of months and whatnot. But I'm definitely down to have like a recurring spot. I don't know, maybe like every third show or some every third week or something. I don't know.
For sure. Demo, like some dev interview. Like what we doing? What we doing?
I'm down.
Yup.
I'm down for anything of it. I'm even down for doing it on a separate show. You know what I'm saying? On a separate day or whatever.
Tech talking this boy. Let's do it. Let's
Yeah,
do it.
yeah,
I would
yeah,
love that.
yeah.
No,
Yeah,
serious.
but definitely here, like bring back, do like a segment
Oh, for
and
sure.
that one too.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Shut up.
Only
Yeah.
thing, only thing I have is dropping 999 on September 9th of 2025 because
Let's go.
yeah, I'm really excited about it. Although we're getting closer and closer to the day, so I'm doing earworming right now on IG, and so far it's been favorable. So I'm just looking forward to dropping it for sure.
Hold on. Let's slow that down for a second. We're gonna be out of here soon, but tell me, explain earworming.
So earworming is what I always do, and I leave this little worm in your ear symbolic because you always share. So it's basically I just give you a snippet of the song, and I'm supposed to like beat you over the head with it so much that you want to hear it. You want to hear the whole song. The challenge
Um,
with my music is it's so transient that when I choose a certain part of the song, that's only one small part of the song. That's
it's
not
gonna change and
right,
evolve,
right,
definitely,
right.
right?
So yeah, I think I'm gonna have another one tomorrow, and maybe I think I'll be able to do two more before it drops. But yeah, I'm thinking it'll be five songs, maybe six. We'll see.
Please share it with me directly and
Oh,
don't
all
leave it
day
till the algorithm because yeah, you know the algorithm be like, I don't need to show you this. And I'm like,
for
what are
sure,
you talking about?
for sure,
Yeah.
for
Okay,
sure.
great, great, great.
Absolutely, absolutely. G, you got something you working on? You want to share?
Nothing I'm working on currently. But I did want to give I think it's Luna Gallery on Roncesvalles out of Toronto. They are doing a font exposition. So artists have gathered together and they're showing off interesting work with fonts. So I thought if anyone is around, I think it's the 18th to the 23rd on Roncesvalles Luna Gallery. Um, and yeah, if you're into design,
Yo,
it,
G, let's roll through when I get back from Kenya
when you won't be back, bro. You won't be
till the
back.
23rd. I'll have a few days, let's say. We're gonna
Okay,
keep it
well,
incognito as far as the
if you're back,
details, but
we'll go 100%. I am totally
yeah,
down.
all right, we
Yeah.
rolling. We rolling. Luna Fonts. Is that on?
Luna Gallery. It's on
Okay,
Ronci. Ronci. You know
Ronsonsville.
Ronci.
All right, let's
Yeah.
do it. Let's do it.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
please take some coverage, you all. Like seriously, photos, some it is whatever you can.
All
Yeah, yeah,
right.
for sure. I love the idea for me, fonts, we use them to write, but also, it's artists that create those things that we
For sure.
use to communicate. So to see the artists be free from the constraint of, uh, you
Guidelines.
know, just
Yeah.
trying to communicate, it's gonna be good. Like that's gonna be good. I know
Yeah,
it's gonna be good.
for sure.
Let's check
And
it. Yes, yes, yes. And yeah, like even there's so much nuance and so much there's story in the constraint of fonts and the use and how we look like the Africa font. You know what I mean? We'll talk about that
Yeah, yeah,
later,
yeah,
but
yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Papyrus, papyrus.
that part, Peppers. Like, look, I think we also need to rewind just a little bit, ladies and gentlemen, or lady and gentlemen. There was a comment a little bit ago from our very own Symbolic, and it was that he is going to Kenya. I don't think the audience knows that you're going.
Ah,
We
I
just
said
know.
that in passing.
You
All
did.
right,
So,
all
is there
right.
anything you want to say about your wonderful pilgrimage?
Yo, stepping to the continent is always a blessing and my thing there is to connect with the culture, connect with people. I got some of my family like, are you gonna take pictures of the animals? I'm like, I don't know, but I'm definitely gonna connect with people and culture. And so as far as what I can convey with my words, future lyrical works, which eventually will come, and audio visuals, including here, definitely that's one thing I look forward to is capturing and sharing, because there's a lot there that is, as far as our experience and going back to that Pan Africa, as much as many times the thought is we're so distinctly different. Me being Jamaica born and Canadian raised and Ghanaian dad, I'm actually developed a very strong ability to see the similarities in how we flow. So I look forward to that. And yeah, I'm gonna jump on our show from Kenya.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm definitely looking forward to that because it's like what we talked about it. It'll be 4 a.m.
Mad early AM.
Mad early a.m.
Hold
Or
him,
mad
hold
late.
him.
Yeah. Huh? G?
Just saying, hold him. Yeah, hold him to it. Because I know if I was in Kenya at 4 a.m., there's a very unlikely chance that I would be on a podcast.
Yeah.
But you're made of different metal than me.
Yo, all right, y'all. Oh, let's run this one and get to going so next week we can see you from Kenya.
I know, right? IB was just back there chilling.
All right. Which one? Which one? Which one?
Yo, you never know what Ivy's about to click because he's got that Oculus on.
The Underground Freedom Train.
Underground Freedom Train, yeah. You looking to the left or to the right? Ah, now I see.
Let's see. You want friends of success? Which one? Which
In
one?
the
Which one?
Telegram, right? I
Yeah,
posted
yeah,
it
yeah,
in the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
discussion.
yeah. Yeah, man. We getting there, man. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
all right, all right. I
We
thought I was being
getting there.
helpful. I didn't mean to.
You being pushy, man. You being pushy.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
What? Get out of here. Y'all can see the screen, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oops.
Special is happening in Toronto, the night of July 31st.
We are here tonight because we recognize this moment of emancipation.
Leading into Emancipation Day 2025.
We recognize this moment of emancipation as African peoples.
We gathered for Freedom Train.
So we can fulfill the purpose that we're supposed to fill, so we can be a bigger, better, and stronger people.
And for those of you who don't know what emancipation is, maybe tonight is a moment that you will get a taste of what it is.
Starting at Vaughan Metro Center Station, it all kicked off with powerful words of commemoration.
We remember all those under oppression, under hardships, who resisted, who pushed back, who fought, who brought excellence to this world so that we could be in this place tonight.
We started the night's journey of remembrance and appreciation with respect for African descendants who paved our way.
We're going to ask you to be quiet, to be silent. Tonight we are going to speak a language of silence that is loud and beautiful and sexy and positive and truthful and all that there is.
After a moment of quiet contemplation, beautiful poetry soothed us.
On your mark, get set, and so it begins on the dark continent of enlightenment.
Tonight is a night we are also celebrating.
You could feel the energy rising in the music and drumming. The vibe was electric at Freedom Train. Good company was plentiful. I feel empowered and proud to live in a city that recognizes Emancipation Day. The struggles, as well as the contributions of African descendants. Freedom Train, Blackhurst Cultural Center, and the TTC. Meet me there. Moments that must be captured. Mix It Media 360. It happened.
Mix It Media 360.
That part. It's so dope. That video is so dope.
Respect.
Gosh, it's so dope. I mean, the event in and of itself was incredible, but the way you capture these pivotal moments. It's just stellar. Hats off to you, sir.
Enough love, enough respects. Yeah, it happened and we get it in that way and it yeah, I was able to, like I narrated, I wrote it, I shot it. It's kind of crazy, but we can do that now right on the Fifth Estate tip. So,
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That was incredible. Dope, dope, dope. Can't wait to see what you do similarly. Even if we talked about this, like you doing something similar from Kenya, whatever reaches out to you. But I can't wait to see what you come up with. Can't wait to see it for sure.
we'll get those shots. We'll get those shots. The thing is there's so much more that I've got and it's like putting this thing together to be able to tell those stories is another part of it, as I'm sure you can appreciate.
For sure.
Yeah, the time and energy to just, there's
It's
so
hard.
many stories. And so one
Yep,
part of it is great is us being able to get together and talk and then create a format like this. It's good.
for sure. For sure. Yeah. Well, I, for one, would like to thank you, wonderful brothers from the motherland, for a wonderful evening of culture. Culture critically thinking, tech, soul, all of that in betweenst. Yeah, it's wonderful as it always is. And I'm looking forward to the next and the next and the next and the next and the next for sure.
Enough respects, enough love. Any vibe checks, y'all?
Oh,
What's the
oh,
vibe? What's the vibe?
oh, wait. The vibe is we have some recommended reading. Do we not?
Oh, we do.
We do. We just be like, oh yeah, we chilling. So some of us know the good doctor, Dr. A, I call him Dr. Anderson. I am proud to announce that he has I wonder if I'm able to share. If I'm able to share, I can do that.
Yes, you are.
Oh, nice. No, host disabled attendee screen sharing. There is no screen share.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Really? It's saying it's oh, there it is. You know what? That's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
I hear slanderous untruths being spread around here.
No, no, no. Okay, so can you all see that?
Yes.
Okay, so Afrofuturism and World Order, the brand new, just published this month. I don't even know. This isn't a manifesto. This is more. It's the fifth estate, like smoking. It really does cover a whole gamut of topics in speculative, not just arts, but from a scholarly perspective. Dr. Anderson, who we have had be our, he's our people. He's come on the show. He's dropped a lot of gems consistently, consecutively, but he is the co-founder of BSAM, the Black Speculative Arts Movement, and regularly studies to show thyself approved. He has a brand new book that talks about the convergence of African philosophy, giving us more of a granulated view of what it means to acquire justice in today's time. And he's using the lens of Afrofuturism, how far it's come from its original days of being coined, which, we know that it wasn't coined by a black person. It was that's a whole other thing. But how it shaped from the idea and moved, I won't even go into ideology, but how it's actually segued and how it's actually produced a large body of work that is informing the present future. I, for one, am super excited about like getting my copy. Like super excited. Um, as you can see here, I can't. I can't.
Doggy's
Why?
excited too. It's good. It's good. Keep going.
But no, as you can see here, what he's drawing on is a lot of everybody knows that one of our pillars in the Afrofuturistic world is Octavia Butler. Like we celebrate her without a shadow of a doubt. But Amiri Baraka, W.E.B. Du Bois, Malcolm X, of course. We're looking at the politics of Black thought, and again, how we're moving and meandering these times and spaces, ultimately shaping them. It's the very thing that we talk about on this show. We own the culture. Because we own it, we have to do something with it besides sit around and talk about it. We have to be solution oriented. So I'm excited about reading this one, to be honest. Dr. A just got copies. He unboxed them the other day. It's like a whole thing, but I'm super excited about getting this copy. And I only pulled up this site because it's also available on Amazon, but I would imagine Dr. A probably gets a better cut if you order through the Ohio State University Press. That
Let's
is
do
all.
it that way.
That is all. So yeah, I would love for us to go ahead and get it, read it, and maybe discuss a little bit, maybe down the line. But yeah, I'm super excited about getting my copy as soon as I get back to America. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Thank you. Thank you. That was wonderful. We've got to come back to that because it is right in line with our fifth estate, us creating the culture, creating the media, and there it is. So we'll come back. We'll loop back.
We
Yep,
will.
yep.
We will.
All right, good people. We appreciate
For
everybody
sure.
that's come through, everybody that has watched, left a comment, supported the channel. We appreciate you.
And everybody that will in the future.
Everybody that will in
That
the future. But right
claro.
now, it's time for us to go and do what it is that we got to do.
That
So,
part.
on that note, we are going to bid you adieu.
Peace out.